Hello everybody, Whitebox here with another session of Spirit Island. So I'm going to be giving my closing thoughts here about Volcano as a spirit for the second time, because I accidentally deleted the video the first time, and let you know where I think they would really end up on the tier list if I were to redo it today. So let's take a look at Volcano real quick. This is a spirit from the Jagged Earth expansion. It's considered moderate complexity, mostly offense with a little bit of utility, and not much control, fear, or defense. But really, you can draft in anything, and you can get a lot of drafts with Volcano, which is one of the reasons they are a very powerful spirit, and with a lot of flexibility. So yeah, pretty good growth options on Volcano. Growth 2, I was getting into a habit of just using it on the first turn to get the 2 and fire unlocked, top bottom, and then just going growth 3 from there on out. It's a very good growth option. You get an extra power card, an extra card play, 2 energy, and add a presence. It's a ton of value for a growth option, especially since Volcano has pretty good tracks. The starting cards for Volcano are not bad. Exaltation of Molten Stone is a good support card. In true solo, you get a ton of energy for it, which is nice. Pyroclastic Bombardment you tend to use in combos with an Explosive Eruption or Lava Flows or something else that can add a little bit of damage. Lava Flows, nice and flexible. And Rain of Ash gets some early fear and some control. So, really solid starting unique cards. They're a little bit expensive, but Volcano gets a lot of energy, so that's not a big deal. And I also wanted to highlight some of the cards that I used throughout my games. Played 9 games of Spirit Island, 9.5 really, with Volcano over the last couple months. And there were a couple cards that kept coming up that I kept using because they were really powerful. So first up, let's look at some minors. So you've got Quicken the Earth Struggles. Make that a little bit better. One of the reasons this card is so good on Volcano, it's 1 energy, which is fine. It's 0 range from a Sacred Site, but as Volcano, if you have 3 presence in a mountain, then you get +1 range from that stack. So Quicken the Earth Struggles, pretty much always going to be a 1 range card, which makes it a lot better. You're going to be able to target, instead of just 1 land where you have presence, everything around it, which is usually 3-4 extra lands. And that defend 10 can be great. If you got some Dahan there, I use that, I think, against Russia to good effect, forcing some Ravages out when I have the defend out there. Or just the 1 damage to each town and city is fantastic. Combos with Pyroclastic Bombardment or with your Explosive Eruption to just wipe out a very built-up land. So, fantastic card. Steam Vents is nice. It's got all of the elements that you want. It's got fire, air, and earth, so that sets up nicely for an Explosive Eruption. Again, you got the 0 range, but you don't really worry about that as Volcano. You get the extra range because of your big mountain stacks, and you're always going to hit Threshold on this, really. So you can just always destroy a town in the fast phase, and that can be pretty nice against a lot of adversaries. Hazard Spread is free. Again, it's got fire, air, and earth, which is what you want. And then just being able to duplicate tokens is fantastic, especially since you get a lot of Badlands. Getting those Badlands out, so you're upping your damage even more from all of your little explosions, or from Quicken the Earth Struggles, from Lava Flows, Pyroclastic Bombardment. It adds up, and you're going to be able to destroy a lot with that. And then Call the Guard, I had at least in 1 game, maybe 2, but you've got good elements on this card. It's 0 cost, 1 range, but you can make that 2, which if you're playing true solo means you can pretty much hit the entire board. If you're playing in a team game, then you're going to have a lot of coverage with that. And since Volcano does get Badlands, the second effect here, where it says after invaders are added or moved to target land, 1 damage to each added or moved invader, well, that can be 2 damage. So if they build a city, or build a town, you can destroy that town. If they build a city, then you can destroy that city if you have 2 Badlands there. So really powerful card. And of course the defend is great too. It's nice and flexible. And then as far as some of the majors that I went with, Volcano is a good spirit for picking up majors. You've got card gain on growth 1 and growth 3, and then also card gain on Powered by the Furnace of the Earth, so you can get more cards. You're going to be drafting a lot, and a good opportunity to see some really strong majors. So I know Blazing Renewal won me that last game against Habsburg Mining Expedition. It's got your elements, fire and earth. You're going to have a lot of destroyed presence anyway, and you can either add it into the stack that you're building up, or you can add it into another mountain and start a new volcano. So pretty nice card. And all you really need to get is a card with a leaf, with plant, and you'll be able to threshold that easily. Unleash a Torrent of the Self-Sown Essence. I know, I'm sorry, I forgot this early on. But you have a pretty easy time playing this card. Again, the extra range here does help because you can do damage in a land adjacent to your volcano, not just in that volcano. And since you have so much card game, it's pretty easy to forget a power card to get that +4 energy and get it just a huge boost of 8 energy. Hitting the threshold does depend a little bit on card gains, but it's not too difficult to find a Sunfire card, which would let you threshold that very easily. Storm Swath I use in at least 2 games, maybe 3. I love this card with a lot of spirits. I think it's really good. The only downside really with this and with Unleash a Torrent is that they don't have Earth. But otherwise, they're fairly easy to threshold. You got your fire and air. And then this one, again, you get bonus range because of Volcano's special rule. Getting damage to each invader combos perfectly with Pyroclasm Bombardment. Yeah, with a couple card gains, it's easy to threshold and affect either 3 lands, or you can affect the origin land twice, and an additional one to do a lot of damage. Pyroclastic Flow was one that I used a couple times. It's just perfect. I mean, it's made for Volcano. So 3 energy, you've got fire, air, and earth. 1 range from a mountain, but that becomes 2 range. Yeah, it's pretty good. Easy to threshold to get that +4 damage. Add a wilds. It's just a good card in general. And finally is Pent Up Calamity. You've got some great elements here for choice events, as well as the fire and earth that you need. It's one of the best majors in the game, in my opinion, and with 3 range effectively on Volcano, you can hit anywhere on the island that you want. And all you need is really 1 card game with Moon in order to threshold that and just start pinging the island with tokens. So I think these are some of the majors that I used a lot throughout this series, and I think they're all pretty strong. But because of the extra range from Volcano, all of the energy that it gets, it's very flexible with a lot of cards. Alright, so overall, what do I think about Volcano? Well, I hadn't played them too much before I put them into C tier, honestly, and they were the one spirit that people were telling me, oh, you're wrong. White Box, you are a dumb person. Volcano is way better than C tier. After playing them against all of the adversaries, 7 of the adversaries at level 6, I agree. I was wrong. They are definitely above a C tier spirit. I would put them all the way up in A. I was very wrong on this spirit. I think the flexibility that you get with all the card gains that you have, Growth 1, Growth 3, and one of your innates, the energy gain that you get, which is insane, between Growth 1 and Growth 3 and your tracks, the ability to hit targets at +1 range with Volcanic Peaks Tower over the landscape, and with Exaltation of Molten Stone if you're in true solo. It's just very good. They combo really well with a lot of different spirits. I played them with control spirits, with other damage spirits, with just support spirits like Mentor, and yeah, they all worked really well. So it's a great spirit. I would move them up into A tier. So thank you everyone for complaining about my placement of Volcano into my tier list back in the fall. It gave me an opportunity to play more games with the spirit, and I really like them. This was a fun series. I might go back eventually to try to get those last level 6 wins against England and Brandenburg, Prussia, but I think I'm going to take a little break from them to do some other games for the meantime. So hopefully you enjoyed this series. If so, feel free to let me know what other spirit you'd like me to re-explore. I think another one that people commented on me underrating was Relentless Gaze of the Sun, so I might give them a try into a couple different adversaries. I also want to play more games with Lure. Lure I've been interested in recently, and I haven't played them in a while, so you might see some Lure games in the future. The next series that I have coming up, I'm going to be trying to finish up getting at least 1 level 6 adversary win with every spirit in the game. I've got 8 left, so I'm going to try to cross those off my list and have a nice matchup matrix chart. So, love you guys. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all next week.